Welcome to South of Left Field. My name is Jimmy, and I want to take a little change of pace here. After talking about voting, I want to back up a little farther and just, get a little thought about this. Sitting outside the duopoly like I do. Here's the question. Why do we need government? Now, that's a question that generally doesn't seem to get very much serious discussion. I did a piece, well on back down the ways, where I talked about human beings being hierarchical in nature, meaning we like to establish a social structure. Now, this is really not uncommon. A social structure where we operate as a group makes us collectively powerful and improves chances of survival. In nature, you'll find that this is not at all an uncommon behavior. Apes will move in troops, lions will move in prides, elephants, they operate as a herd. They coordinate with one another, and it makes for a better existence than the one lone solitary person. Now, America's a little crazy, I think, in that we seem to celebrate the individual. Well, the truth is, we didn't succeed as a nation because of individuals. George Washington didn't lead a bunch of individuals, he led an army. And it had a command structure. The government is necessary to the functioning of society. I mean, just think about this. You have laws against murder, laws against rape, laws against theft. Now, if there is no government, there is no law. There are no investigators. There are no enforcers who can be trained to keep the laws. You don't have any of that. You don't have jails. You don't have an army to protect the society if another group of people, be it a city or a nation, decides that, hey, they want to come in and take your land, well, you as an individual, you don't stand a chance. It's not at all uncommon for criminals to work in teams and groups. Why? Same thing again. Your chances of success are improved. You are stronger as a part of a group. So, government really is essential. Now, there's a saying, heard it most of my life, and I'm pretty certain you have too. You get what you pay for. What that means is you can't have a good government that's cheap. Now, we all don't have to perform functions for the government. But we should have a vision. We should have an opinion as to what we want our government to achieve. Now, for me, the simplest test is asking the question, is whatever function, job, end result that people want, can it be achieved by an individual? Or does it take collective action? A lot of things require collective action. A great many things require collective action. If you want an interstate highway system, that's collective action. If you want a functioning, fairly standard educational system, that takes collective action. If you want to have a fire department to respond to you in time of need. That takes collective action. Because it takes equipment, it takes training, it takes people, it takes pay, it takes an organization. And so it requires some level of government. It can be county, it can be state, or it can be national. But if you are looking for things collectively to protect us as citizens, yes, you do need some form of law enforcement. You need some form of investigative service. You need a judiciary to try and make sure that laws are applied fairly and that, you don't have people put in jail for things they didn't do, if you can figure that out. You want a fire department to look after you. These things require collective action. Government is essential. And for those who are not a part of government, the duty is to pay the taxes to make sure that the government is properly funded. And if you want proper services, you got to pay the proper bill. There seems to be an increasing number of people who loudly scream that government is intrusive and they don't want government. They want government shrunk. They don't want to see the government. They don't want to hear the government. They don't want the government in their business. The time of the frontier is over. There's no place in the United States you can go and not run into government. I believe that's as it should be. One of the things that aggravates me is the Postal Service. Do we need government? The Constitution itself directs that there shall be a postal service. It doesn't say it's supposed to make a profit. It simply says the Congress shall fund a postal service to serve all the people, and this includes business. Our postal service has been wrecked. The current head of the Postal Service seems to have done everything in his power to wreck it, and there's repeated talk of privatizing it. The Constitution didn't say it was supposed to be private. The Constitution said the Congress is supposed to provide a postal service for us, the people. We really need to give some thought to what our government is supposed to do for us. The laws are supposed to make us more equal. The judiciary is supposed to apply the law impartially. All of these things are governmental functions. I think too many things are being taken out of the hand of government. Because I will say this, business doesn't respond to people. Government is supposed to, but government's not going to respond to people unless people are active. And that is to say, people vote, people petition, people protest when necessary. In other words, they send the message up the food chain that says, hey, we do or we don't like what we see. Is government necessary? Yes, government is necessary. We've had government ever since there's been human beings. I'm sure that, the chief of the local tribe and the shaman beside him and whatever other functions and forms, it may have been extremely simple, but it was a government. We've always been a hierarchical people. We are hierarchical creatures. We are stronger when we work collectively. We're stronger when we're organized collectively. And we need to remember that. Don't let our disagreements run away with us. Do we need government? Yes, we do. I think there's areas where we need to throw business and for-profit organizations out because they are not there to serve their customers. They're there to serve the owners. If you want reliable, responsive organizations fulfilling your functions, you don't need to use corporations, you need to use the government, and you need to keep it honest and keep it true by paying attention to it and voting for it. That's my view from south of left field. I'm going to cut it short on this note. I do appreciate your listening in on it. And what I'm going to do is launch off into a bit of a series going forward from here and talk about functions that I think should be in our government and functions that perhaps don't need to be. And I'm sure that there's been a lot of people who will agree and disagree with various points of view. That's what this is all about. So thank you for listening. Please like, please share, please subscribe if you feel like it.